All right. Happy Friday. It's April 2nd. Quick recap of the week. Monday was a timed workout. Chest, back, shoulder, biceps, tries, legs, abs, cardio, exertion. You had obliques. You know, you could maybe round up or round down. Maybe you had 300 to 500 up body reps, depending on the weight you had, the exercises you chose. Again, you had some legs, some abs, and exertion. Wednesday, you had the reps, similar style, and technically it was a higher pace, but it was rep counted. Hello there, Stella. So we had chest, back, shoulder, biceps, tries, again, leg combos, ab combos. So you probably did more on the legs and abs on Wednesday. Today, I want to use the word lower body. I don't really want to say legs, even though you have the ability to use your legs. But I'm thinking ribs down, you're thinking lower body. But I'll, of course, show you the tools that you can use. But let's just do a little simple warm-up. You guys have been working all morning long, so let's just move our body a little bit. 10 standing scissors. We'll do 10 standing runners, and you'll do 10 Jack LaLannes, and you're just going to go through them 3 times, which has never been done technically by us, and it's not magical. Your mindset on your standing scissors is dynamic lengthening. You've got anterior activation. You've got your hammies, your glutes, your back. You're using your arms and your legs via your hips and your shoulder joints. 10 standing scissors, 10 standing runners. That's your dynamic mobility, a little more spine and hip, knee and ankle mobility on your 10 standing runners. And again, both of these things get you out of the chair that you've been sitting on while you work. They get your body focused, joints moving, muscles turning on. I got Friday brain. You have your 10 Jack LaLannes. You gotta get big, you gotta get tall, so you can consistently and effectively go back down. And your mindset on that is dynamic stretching, which is technically a little different than dynamic lengthening. However, they kind of feel the same when you don't have weights in your hands. 10 standing scissors, 10 standing runners, and 10 Jack LaLannes times 3. Stella, I've got Mom, I've got Paul, Deborah, Donita. Oh, hello there, Donita. Happy Friday. Again, 3 rounds is 90 total movements. It's 30 of each. And mindset is get out of your chair, move your body, stimulate the soul. I know what's coming, so I'm not worried about other parts of a warm-up that we have done many times. Breathe, focus. Tempo is always controlled. Bigger motions, time under tension, 2.5 to 3 second reps. So 90 total movements between the circuit, 270-ish seconds, give or take. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 minutes. And that's if you don't take any breaks. 10 standing scissors, 10 standing runners, and 10 Jack LaLannes. And you're shaking off your arms, light stretching if you get ahead of the game. 3 rounds, take your time. Again, you watch me doing other things. These are light things you can do to get ready. You see it on TV all the time. Somebody stretching out their hamstrings and stretching out their quads, shaking off their shoulders, kind of getting pumped up, breathing and focusing. 3 rounds, 10 standing scissors, 10 standing runners, and 10 Jack LaLannes. Breathe and focus. Today's workout, we're saying lower body. I don't really want to call it a legs day because I wouldn't give you the leg press at the gym. I wouldn't have you doing any squats. I wouldn't have you doing any lunges. And those are your dynamic, concentric motion leg exercises. multi-joint motion, multi-muscle activation, blah, 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 blah. At the gym, you have your quad extension machine, you've got your GHDs, we got hip bridges, we got our calf machines. So yeah, you're using your legs statically, single joint exercises, focusing on a muscle group. But you always have options. So I'm going to start talking about your workout. Circuit number 1 is going to be your quads. If you have ankle weights, put them on. If you have a light dumbbell to hold between your feet, grab it. If you don't have those tools, that's okay too. I'm referring to the iso quads exercise, whether you're sitting on the ground, sitting on a bench, whether you're holding the ground, whether you're holding your legs, whether you're holding nothing. I'm referring to iso quads, which is isometric abs core quad extension exercise. Again, if you're at the gym, you would be on the quad extension machine. If you want to do something harder, and of course that's awesome, but we do them all the time, lower, heavier step-ups, stationary forward lunges, and narrow squats. They're always viable options. We also do that a lot. So if you do those things, cool. I'm just going to use the word quads. I want you to focus on your quads. And the only thing that would really solely focus on your quads is a quad extension exercise. You have 5 sets of 20 quads comboed with 5 sets of 30 upper body motion abs, which means your lower body is not moving. But I'm going to give you a couple more options. You can do sit-ups. Remember, you have lots of different angles and positions on sit-ups. You can do toe touches. You can do jackknives if you have the tool. I'm going to throw in iso penguins and Russian twists. So this circuit, you've got 20 quads, 30 upper body motion abs times 5. You guys, it's not a race. There is no trophy. There is no first place. Okay? 5 rounds. There's not a lot of changes. Your changes come from possible ab exercises. So don't wait for me. You're going to see me dibbling and dabbling and talking to you more than doing anything else. Iso quads at home is a position. Isometric core, I'm not moving with my upper body, and my lower body, the quad extension exercise. You can hold what you're sitting on, ground or bench. You can hold your legs up because you're not doing V-ups, or don't hold anything at all. Quads, 20, 5 sets. Remember, you can do lower, heavier step-ups, stationary forward lunges, narrow squats. We have low and narrow leg presses if you want to do those harder tools. Your abs, you got sit-ups. Laying on the ground, laying on a ball, laying on a bench, legs straight, knees bent, feet wide, feet narrow. There's so many different positions on a sit-up. You've got toe touches. Again, at the gym, you have jackknives. I'm going to throw in iso penguins because your lower body isn't moving either. Great exercise. And I'll throw in Russian twists, even though there is displacement and deviation. Again, you're thinking about your upper body a little bit more. You guys, I don't want to say boring. I'm going to say the word steady and static. Quads, 20. Abs, 30. 5 rounds. 5 sets each. That's 100 quads and 150 abs. We have 600 abs and obliques today. Yowzas. We've got quads, hammies, glutes, calves. We've got exertion or cardio at the end. Plenty of work to do. And Deborah, I know I only get you once a week. I probably should have said the Monday timed workout or the Wednesday non-timed workout were probably better, thorough options. So let me know if you want to transition over to those quickly. I like today's workout. However, the Wednesday workout was potentially more up the alley for your strength training. Again, quads, focus, breathe. Ankle weights would be awesome, so then you wouldn't have to hold anything. Holding a dumbbell between your feet is awesome. Kind of gives you that acuity, right? You really focus on holding that weight in your feet, right? No, having nothing is fine. Sitting on something higher, it might feel like you get more motion, but you technically don't. You're just off the ground. So you can totally mix up your quad extensions. Again, if you get bored over the 5 sets, narrow squats is a great option. Low heavy step-ups, stationary forward lunges, low and narrow leg press is a good option as well. 5 rounds, 5 sets each. Quads, abs, quads, abs. Breathe and focus. Like I said, Deborah, if you need to transition over, let me know. I can send you that link real quick. Still a good workout. Maybe next week you can do the other ones. They're between the Monday and Wednesday, you're looking at about 600 to 800 upper body reps, legs, abs, exertion, all over the board. Let's talk about those abs, right? Sit-ups, we've nailed on those so many times. If you haven't changed your body position on sit-ups, please start doing so. Legs straight down, knees bent, one leg straight, one leg bent. Feet wide, feet narrow. Laying on the ground, laying on a ball, laying on benches. There's lots of different ways of doing sit-ups. And I use the word sit-ups, even if it's just a crunch, right? I don't like to use the word crunch. It's a little sit-up and it's a big sit-up. Crunch to me is a lot more neck movement by accident. It's not the intent. But I always use the word sit-up. How big can you go? 5 rounds, 20 quads, 30 up body motion abs times 5. Lots of work. Take your time, breathe and focus. Maybe you're diversifying those legs, quad extensions, stationary forward lunges, narrow squats, lower, heavier step-ups. Maybe you have an ankle weight on or ankle weights on your quad extensions. Maybe you're holding a dumbbell between your feet. Maybe you're sitting on the ground. Maybe you're sitting on a bench. Lots of little things. Sit-ups, different positions, different leg placements, toe touches. You got both legs up, you got one leg up. You can mix those things up. You can lay your legs on something, like put your legs up on something. As long as your legs are not moving, you got that upper body motion ab. You got your jackknives as a tool. It would be hard to do at home, but if you had a cable wrapped up on your garage, trestles or something, or you need resistance from above on a jackknife. Iso penguins, Russian twists are part of the equation today. And actually sometimes I'll see people laying down on their iso quads. I'm not the biggest fan of that. You'll see people laying here and doing their iso quads. Again, I just personally don't like the angle. You can do it. Again, ankle weights on. It really comes down to the back, right? You need abs tight, abs tight, abs tight, and you need that subtle angle to really get in your quads. So if you ever really need to lay down, or if you want to feel the difference, you can. You're still going to get quads. It's still going to burn. So play around with different positions. I just personally like the iso quad, unless you have a quad extension machine. There's actually several tools that have been created over this last year. There's a thing that you can step in and tie it to your shoe. It's almost like those old school roller skates that you can wear your shoe and put your roller skates on. They created that, and you could attach weights to it. Kind of corny, but again, it's a good tool, and you could get your quads and your hamstrings. Again, they're just things that have been created due to working out with limited tools. You should still be in the circuit. Math alone, right? 250 total reps between the quads and the abs, right? Math says it's 750 seconds. You're looking at, gosh, 12 minutes minimum. I would say this is upwards to 13 to 15 minutes based on how slow and steady you went, how consistent and effective your motions were. Maybe you were able to have ankle weights or dumbbell between your feet. Maybe you adjusted the quad exercise. No rush. Again, your abs, maybe you had to get on and off the ground a couple times. Maybe you didn't. 5 sets of 20 quads. 5 sets of 30 upper body motion abs. Again, you should still be in the circuit. Work, work, work. The workout's going to seem pretty slow. It's going to seem pretty simple. Compared to the Monday and the Wednesday, the rhythm is a lot different. Again, Wednesday probably felt slow, but you had the 300 chest, back, shoulder, bis, and tris. You had the 5 different leg combos yielding your 200 legs. You had the 5 different ab combos yielding 300 abs. You had the exertion or cardio. Danilo, you're right? Again, Monday we had the timed workout. It was an 8-set timed workout that you did 3 to 4 rounds of. We had obliques in between. Pace probably felt extremely high, even though you had that formal 15-second break, which didn't really give you much time. I don't expect you to be there, but I'm going to give you about a minute, and I'll start talking about your right obliques. We have a right oblique circuit to do between this circuit and the next circuit. Later on, we'll have the left obliques to do, and we'll have a nice little calf cardio or exertion finish. The 9 a.m. class was done around the 9:55 mark, so this workout can get long. You can always hear the last piece and move on and do it later on. But I am going to start talking about that right oblique. Now we have done, and it's okay if you're not there, you're going to hear it more. If you need to push pause on the recording, push pause. Right obliques, you're going to have 150 reps. Well, I've done that before. What do I want today? 50 of one exercise, 40 of a different exercise, 30 of another exercise, maybe you repeated the first one, 20 of another exercise, maybe you repeated the second one, and 10 of another exercise. You can repeat them, but I need to have at least 2 different obliques. If you want to do all of your different obliques, you can. It's going to be 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, right obliques only. Yeah, you're going to do 150 consecutive right obliques, but I'm just giving you a little bit of control or adjustment in parameters, okay? 50 of one oblique, 40 of another oblique, 30, whether it's different, 20, and 10. Your choices, you stand and do your left hand loaded obliques. That yields your right obliques. Again, at the gym, you have the hyperextensions. We've got the rotations. You got right side up double lateral leg lifts, right side down hip dips, laying on your back, knees to your left, right side crunch. You've got 150 right obliques, but it's a 50, it's a 40, it's a 30, it's a 20, and a 10. And you gotta do at least 2 different obliques, but if you want to diversify more, you can. Like I said on Monday, if you haven't done side crunches in a while, I would highly recommend mixing up some side crunches, and that's the mobility of hips and spine and flexibility of your muscles around your hips and spine. Okay? When you get done with your quad ab circuit, you've got 150 right obliques. 50 of one, 40 of another, 30 and 20 and 10. And again, you're going to hear your choices. When you do your double lateral leg lifts, viable option, make sure your upper body is a good foundation. You see me not holding the ground. I've just done them a lot. You might need to brace yourself a little bit more. The more firm and steady your upper body is, the more your lower body can move on your upper body. If you're wibbling and wobbling, then you're not going to be able to move as much. Double lateral leg lifts, viable, great option. Try to focus on the up side oblique versus the down leg. When your down leg works a lot, you're going to get your down leg hips. Again, right side obliques is right side up, double lateral leg lifts. Right side down, hip dips. Right, you've done that a lot. Right side is down. I can't demonstrate too much because of my right arm. Right side down, hip dips. Again, great option. Mobility of hips and spine. And it's the only pushing oblique exercise. Your obliques are pushing you up. It's also associated with the position. The position is hard. And since we're not doing any upper body today, maybe it doesn't feel quite as hard. Again, you have 150 right obliques. Choose one for 50, choose one for 40, choose one for 30, 20, and 10. You're going to have to repeat at least one of them. Maybe you're only going to do 2 of them. All right, you talked about the side crunch. You're laying on your back, knees to your left. You're staying square to the ceiling on your right side crunch. Mobility of hips and spine. Flexibility of muscles around your hips and spine. Your legs are not necessarily a foundation, but don't let them activate. Try to keep, I see the legs working a lot. Keep your legs out of the equation. Your upper body is moving on to your lower body on your side crunch. Again, the more your legs move, the less you're using your obliques. And I know you're already going to do one of them. You're standing left hand loaded. TikToks, a very common exercise. But since you're going to be on the ground for one of them, you might as well try to do a couple more. Again, just so you hear it one more time, 150 right obliques. However, parameters, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and you can do at least 2 different obliques. I'll talk about the rotations. If you have the tool, you would need a cable or a resistance band. The cable would be against something. You would hold the handle from your left, and you would rotate to your right. And that's a standing rotational oblique. That's a functional oblique. Function, your body is working, right? Your lower body is a foundation. Your upper body is rotating on your lower body. It's a pulling exercise. It's good for all the things you do. Hiking, biking, swimming, erging, running, jumping, momming, dadding. That's a functional oblique. The gym, we have the hyperextension oblique. Although hard, although it burns, I want people to associate it as the aesthetic oblique. You're going to see it more with that one. It looks pretty, but it's not that functional. Standing loaded obliques, they're great. Again, not super functional, good for you with mobility of hips and spine, a little more spine. Double lateral leg lifts, there's a lot of load. Your obliques have to pull your legs up. Hip dips, hard position, kind of like planks, right? It's a great hard exercise, so that one's going to be good for you. Get 150 right side obliques. We'll do the left obliques later on after the next circuit. Again, I don't expect you to be done with this circuit. Math alone says you're 150 times 3 for 150 seconds. You're looking at about 6 to 8 minutes of work because of the motion. It's a little smaller motion than your other lifts. It doesn't mean you should go faster. Breathe, work. We'll have our hamstrings and our glutes with our hip motion abs coming up. Later on, we'll do the left obliques. We'll finish off with calves and cardio, or calves and exertion. Happy Friday. A little bit of work today. Tons of upper body was done this week. We have the dynamic leg combos on Wednesday. You had a choice on any legs on Monday, but you had the 3 to 4 sets, so nominal on the legs. You did have the exertion or cardio, so that was part of the leg equation as well. Give you guys another minute, and we'll start talking about the next circuit. Again, it doesn't mean you should be there, not the intent. Reps are high, it's going to be tedious. That's why we have choices on some of the things moving forward. The next circuit will have you a little more stimulated because of the choices you can have. Make sure you finish out those obliques, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, right side obliques. We've done these numbers before, but we normally combo with something. And I've given you 100 or 150 consecutive things before, and I normally don't give you the parameters of what I'm looking for in that. Just get it done. Today, you have 150 right obliques, separated by 50 of one, 40 of another, 30, 20, and 10. You do have your microphone on, so you know.
I'm yapping away, aren't I?
No, I mean, you can do as you wish. Just don't say bad things about your trainer. Or your best friend on here. Oof. You know that B1, she is so mean. Alrighty, I'm going to start talking about your next circuit. It does not mean you should be there. If you are there, awesome. Hamstrings and glutes. Remember, hip bridges, great option. Regular feet, wide feet, narrow feet, feet up on something. Your hips can be weighted. Hip bridges, motion and load. You can also do your hamstring curls. You need to keep your butt up, and you need something that rolls or slides on your hamstring curls. And you do have those stiff-legged RDLs. Again, great option. I'm going to keep you stimulated. If you really want to do stationary reverse lunges and wide squats, feel free, but you could also stay on the ground the whole time. 20 on your hamstrings and glutes, like your quads, and then 30 on your hip motion abs. Anything where your legs are moving, reverse crunches, V-ups, slow scissors, slow runners, windshield wipers. We've got hanging abs. Anything where your legs are moving. Again, it should feel pretty simple. V-ups, great option. Reverse crunches, great option. Windshield wipers, great option. Slow scissors, slow runners, slow swimmers. I want you to think about your hamstrings and your glutes, okay? When you get there, 5 sets of 20 on your hamstrings and glutes. The challenge, you gotta have motion, and somehow you have to have load. L-O-A-D. If you can't add weight on your hips, that's fine. Slow it down. You can diversify your feet. Regular feet width, wide feet width, narrow feet width. Your feet up on something, and again, weight on your hips. Hip bridges, hamstring curls. You keep your butt up. The ball rolls in and out. At the gym, we have the GHD machine. That's probably the biggest difference. Yes, you can do wide squats, high and wide leg presses, stationary reverse lunges. You got your stiff-legged RDLs, right? Yes, there's a little more movements because they're all pulling exercises. You're always going to have more motions when you pull. you're always going to have more positions when you push. Okay? 5 sets of 20 hamstrings and glutes, 5 sets of 30 hip motion abs, reverse crunches, V-ups, hanging abs, scissors, runners, swimmers, windshield wipers. When all 5 rounds are done, you're then going to do your 150 left obliques. So you're still have a lot more to do. And then at about 12:50-ish, I'll give you the finishing extra credit circuit if you have time. You can always save it for later when you get done with your phone calls at 2. Right? You can always just finish off your day with a little bit more. So these are tedious, I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of monotonous, I get it. But I want you to think about the muscles. Well, stationary reverse lunges are great. Walking forward lunges are great, right? They turn on those muscles, but they're also dynamic, concentric leg exercises. So it's hips, knees, ankles, glutes, hammies, quads. Lots of things are working. When you do those hip bridges, I see a lot of people stopping early. They just kind of get their butt up a little bit. If you get that butt way up, you might even feel your hips and your abs stretching a little bit. That means you went high enough. Now, if you don't feel that, that's great. But if you get those butts up there, right? You get those glutes up there, you might feel that stretch on your anterior muscles, and that's a good thing. Remember, I actually want a little more hamstrings. We have a hamstring machine here. You got hamstring curls. You got your feet higher, your feet width changes, your hips heavier. Lots of ways of doing your hamstrings and glutes. 5 sets of 20 on your hamstrings and glutes. Again, your hip motion abs. Your legs are going to move some form, some fashion, but don't just move your legs, right? Engage your abs. Make your abs pull on your hips. Your legs attached to your hips and your abs attached below your hips, and you pull your hips via your abs and your legs will move. Kind of the mindset. People tend to start just moving their legs and all they're going to get is their hip flexors. I want your abs. Again, this is tedious, this is slow, it's monotonous, but you have a little more diversity to this circuit. Hip bridges, lots of position changes, hamstring curls, we got GHDs, stiff-legged RDLs. It's a great option. However, the up and down the ab combo, be careful. Wide squats, stationary reverse lunges, high and wide leg presses, lots of things. 5 rounds, 5 sets each. When the whole thing is done, don't wait for me. You have the 150 on the left obliques. Same idea, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. And if you need to be done, you can, but you'll hear about the extra credit circuit in like 12 minutes. This is tedious, time consuming. Hips are moving, glutes and hamstrings are turning on. Hips are the conduit for your legs moving because your abs. Today was no upper body because potentially you did a ton. Gosh, I need to eat some food. I haven't eaten yet today. You have potentially at least 600 reps of your upper body this week. I would even say you're up to 800 reps between the Monday and the Wednesday. Lots and lots of work. Steady, smooth, simple, effective, thorough. Diversify a little bit so you can stay mentally stimulated. Don't just go through the motions. Challenge the motion. Rare, I ask you guys to not lunge and not squat. So take advantage of a day where you can do your quads without lunging and squatting. Your hamstrings and glutes without lunging and squatting. Abs are common. Obliques, again, a little rhythm change today. these little rhythm changes, combo changes. That's how you guys get sore. That's how we push it a little bit, and why you keep feeling your muscles. Working, breathing. Maybe you tune me out. I should have said it earlier. When you get these circuits and you know what to do, you can always mute me and crank up your music and have a good time. You still have the opportunity to do so. We still have several minutes to go that you can tune out and have a good time. Don't just go through the motions. 5 sets of 20 hamstrings and glutes, 5 sets of 30 hip motion abs. Shouldn't be done by any means, but when you get done, you're going to be on the 150 left obliques. Same idea, 50 of one, 40 of another, 30 and 20 and 10. Rhythm change. Little stimulation. Sorry, I was watching back somewhere. He's trying to get into Minecraft, which is, I have no clue how to play it, but he's watching all these tutorials on Minecraft. I don't really think it's ready for him. I think you gotta be like 7 or 8 or 9 to understand it better, but funny little tools these days. Again, when you get done with your hamstrings and glutes, you got your hip motion abs, 250 total reps between all those hamstrings and glutes and hip motion abs, 5 rounds. You got 150 left obliques. And again, you still have about 5 or 6 minutes before I give you the calves and cardio exertion. And if you get done early, cool, stretch for a second. You can always chime in and ask me to start talking about that last circuit, but I wasn't going to talk about it until, again, 46, 48, 50, based on that morning, the 9 a.m. class. And then literally tempo. 100 hamstring glutes, 150 hip motion abs, 250 reps, 750 seconds. It's 12 minutes minimum of that circuit. Hip bridges are small, but hip bridges can be heavy. Small adjustments. Hip motion abs are longer motions, reverse crunches and V-ups and windshield wipers. Scissors, yeah, you can pick up the pace a little bit. Runners, yeah, you can pick up the pace a little bit. But for the most part, tension and time under tension and load and motion should still be very high. Let's talk about those hip bridges again as you're doing them or finishing them off. You can play with your feet, shoulder width apart, wider, narrower, higher, hips heavier, stability ball hip bridges, bench hip bridges. I don't talk about hip thrusts very much. Different position, body position, load potential. But at the gym we can get you guys into those different You need a bar. You need something to lay against. They're heavier. Your hip motion abs, scissors, runners, swimmers, windshield wipers, reverse crunches, and V-ups. Done them many, many times. At the gym, the biggest difference is the hanging abs, the decline board, reverse crunch, holding a bar up as you do your reverse crunches. Like, there's different ways of challenging the motions. Your obliques, right? You have your left obliques coming your way. It is standing, weight in your right hand oblique. You got the rotation. That means you're pulling from your right to your left if you have those tools on the rotational oblique. Hyperextension oblique, the left side is up. Lying down, left side is up on your double lateral leg lifts. Left side is down on your hip dips. That's the only pushing oblique exercise. Laying on your back, knees to your right for your left side crunch. Motion, 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 motion. Load, time under tension, tempo. Take your time. And if you have time, you got about 3 to 4 minutes before you can start hearing it. We're going to have a calves cardio or exertion finish. And you can do it now, or you can do it later on today when you get off work. Today was simple. Today was meant to be the opposite of everything we could do this week. No upper body. And I know you're using your legs, but you're thinking lower body muscles, more finite intent on the quads, the hammies, the glutes, the calves. We've been doing abs. Again, tools will adjust when I see you. Between the jackknives, changing the angle on your sit-ups, reverse crunches, hanging abs, stability ball abs if you don't have one. Sending one message, not four. I'm going to start talking about that final circuit. I don't expect you to be there. I just want you to wrap your head around whether you can do it now or do it later today. If you have a cardio tool, like I've mentioned many times the last several months, if you have a cardio tool like an erg, which is a row machine, right? The Airdynes, the arc trainer, the stair climber, the treadmill, the elliptical, use a cardio tool. If you want to set your timer and do your exertions so you don't have to count, then set your timer. Jumping rope, jumping jacks, running up and down your stairs, running around your house. There's other ways of being cardiovascular, okay? But when you do your calves exertion combo, and I would even say the cardio combos, just be careful because you are going to be doing concentric calf exercises and jump squats and high knees and running on the treadmill. Just be mindful. That's a calf combo, so be mindful, okay? When you get to the last circuit, if you're going to do cardio tools or you want to shut your brain off, you've got 5 sets of 2 minutes, okay? If you don't want to shut your brain off and you don't want to do cardio tools, then your exertion is going to be 100, 80, 60, 40, 20. So you can stimulate your brain a little bit, okay? Your calf combo, again, I would like it if you stood against or on something so you had more motion. I would love it if you held on to weight so you had more load. Remember, you can change your position on your calves. Again, I want to stimulate the brain, whether you're going to do it now or later. Your calves are going to be 10, 20, 30, 20, 10. You're going to do a pyramid of calves so you can maintain load and motion. You get a nice, good burn, and you can stimulate your brain from this workout. Again, if you have a cardio tool or you want to shut your brain off and set a timer, you've got 5 sets of 2 minutes cardio, and your calves are 10, 20, 30, 20, 10. And if you want to count your exertion, it's 100, 80, 60, 40, 20. And again, your calves are 10, 20, 30, 20, 10. It's the final circuit today. I do label it extra credit because I know what time it is and I know how long it's going to take you. Either do it now or do it later on after your meeting or between your meetings. Okay? Again, so you hear it one more time. If you want a cardio tool or you want to time your exertion, do 5 sets of 2 minutes. If you don't want to time it or don't have cardio tools, 100, 80, 60, 40, 20. Exertions, jump, squat, split, jumps, burpees, high knees, butt kicks, jumping jacks, lateral bench, hop, ski, hops, mountain climbers, rope slams, ball slams, sledgehammers. And then you have your calves, 10, 20, 30, 20, 10. At the gym, I'm making people do high angle cardio. So the treadmill is at 15 incline. The arc trainer is at 10 incline. The elliptical is at 20 incline. The stair climber is already kind of a high angle tool. So at the gym, people had a high angle tool, and that's just what I can control. Okay? Final circuit, extra credit circuit, whether you do it now or later, calves with cardio or exertion. If you need to hear the numbers again, let me know. If you did this recorded, you had chances to pause as you went through it, and you caught up to getting your circuits done. Final circuit, calves and cardio or exertion. 5 sets of 2 minutes, or counted 180, 60, 40, 20. Your calves are 10, 20, 30, 20, 10. Happy Friday. Take your time. Do it. Say goodbye when you get done.